We have Brian Johnston on the phone with us from Behind the Badge. And if you are unfamiliar with Behind the Badge's mission, they really honor law enforcement officers who have died or suffered serious injuries in the line of duty. So it is unfortunate that we are here talking to Brian this morning, but I know that you are going to offer a lot of relief to people, Brian. First of all, just tell us, I know it's a cliche to ask you, but how are you feeling this morning when you're hearing this news?
Well, good morning. It's been a rough night, I think, for all of us. Obviously, with all of our family members in the Bothell Police Department and the surrounding agencies that were on scene, and we know that they're working hard and that their hearts are hurting really badly right now. And so, along with you, we grieve with them. We very much grieve with them right now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Can you talk about resources that you will be able to provide potentially his family or just the community, the police department in general?
Sure. We offer a number of things for the family of the officers, of all the officers, as well as the department, including some direct contact and support through our family members for the surviving family members of these officers, or this officer, and the officer who was also involved, the second officer. And then we would offer the department a number of specially trained law enforcement officers and Behind the Badge Foundation employees the ability to help and plan the next steps, whatever that might look like, whether it is a memorial or what we might be doing in the future to try to make sure that we are honoring this officer and his family and the department, and really try to help that agency and that community grieve as well as try to heal.
Unfortunately, this is something that we see all too often, and at the same time, the Bothell Police Department says that they haven't seen this in 25 years. Is there a special way that you help serve that police department then, because that is definitely something that's going to rock their department?
Sure. We work for them at that point in time once we've made those determinations about what our involvement is, and we'll make an offer to the department. And then we actually end up working for them and guide them through the steps so that they're always in control of what's going on, that their trusted people are also working alongside us, all for the common idea of honoring this officer and making sure that we are seeing to the family's needs and seeing to the family's wishes. We don't just have a moral duty, but we also have a legal obligation to follow the family's wishes in the next steps, whether that's a memorial service or a funeral or what might happen next.
Can you talk about the work that you have done over the years to serve families? Because again, we know that officers put their lives on the line every single day, but this is definitely the worst case scenario. No one ever wants to see this happen. So, just talk about some of the impact that you've had and some of the things that you have seen and done to help families over a multitude of years.
So we've been in existence for about 22 years, and our initial goal was to build a state memorial in Olympia, which we did, and we value that memorial, and it is a beautiful and lovely tribute. But we learned so much on the way to building that memorial, and a lot of that had to do with how we treat a line of duty death, but we also do a lot of work in preparation for officers and family members for difficult times. And so we have, as a multi-layered organization, we not only respond to a line of duty deaths, but we also try to reach out through the departments and the families to create support structures in advance of that. So looking for that longevity within the family and that longevity within the officers so that they can have healthy careers throughout their entire time of service.
And let me ask you, maybe you can speak to this and maybe you can't, but I'm just wondering how this impacts a police department because so many are fragile already with the protests that are going on across the country and then also just the daily nature of the dangers of their jobs every day. What do you, I mean, I know you can't speak for police departments necessarily, but how do you think this affects police officers?
I think all over the state and all over the country. In fact, we've been inundated with so many things that have become more difficult in our daily lives and more difficult in our law enforcement lives from the onset of the issues surrounding COVID, along with the recent issues of public perception. And I can speak just even from my own heart that it is really difficult to navigate this when you know that you have a field of law enforcement and families who are truly dedicated to the betterment of their communities and going through a time where they will continue to do their job. But at the same time, the sadness and the hurt that exists throughout the United States, and then particularly now when we have suffered a line of duty death, the most tragic situation that a department could face. And it's been a big struggle for all of us.
Yeah. Is there something that the community can do today or tomorrow or next week even to help the efforts that you do every single day?
Well, I think there's going to be lots of opportunities to help the department and help the families through this. Just even, cards and letters and notes, things that would help all of us try to make sense of what's going on and just feel a little bit of support throughout our communities so that we can honor this entire department and this family and these officers.